Do you have a dead inverter and the next thing you are planning to do is to throw it away? Don't be so quick. Watch this video and you're going to find out one of the things you can do with your dead inverter. Now, our focus today is not a modified sine wave inverter. I want to believe that it can do exactly the same job, but I am focused more on the transformer based inverter. So if you have a modified sine wave, you may need to find out maybe from other sources whether you can use it or not. Now, these inverters you are seeing on your screen right here, they are all dead inverters. So there's only one thing that we consider to do, either to sell them as scrap or just throw them away outrightly. Sometimes we try to fix inverters, and at the end of the day, there are some inverters you cannot fix, or the cost of fixing it is usually higher than just going to get another one that has a warranty. You have to make a decision sometimes. That's the case with these ones. This particular one I'm showing you right here is not fixable. If you live in a place where you need all the power you can get to charge your batteries to full capacity, and your inverter is not doing just that, and maybe your solar panels are not enough to give your battery full charge, because charging for your battery is like food. If they don't eat that food, they will not be able to deliver when you need them to deliver. That is where this comes in. A lot of times people need external chargers. That extra charge you are getting that is not coming from your inverter, that is not coming from your solar panel, but it is going through to your batteries. That is what an external charger does. And external chargers are quite expensive. A decent external charger, one of the things you want to do for yourself is to try this kind of project and see if it works for you. This one actually worked for me, although I had one or two issues which I'll be talking about later. Presently, I don't use this now because I don't have grid power where I live. My grid power is, like I always say, nothing to write home about. Where I was staying before, this was what I used to use to charge my battery, because my batteries were bigger than the capacity of the inverter that I have. So where my inverter will take about a full day to charge it, adding this one to it, it will take me like half or a little less than half a day to charge it. That is assuming there is no solar panel. So I had very few solar panels at the time. As you can see, this is a transformer, and the transformer is what usually changes your high voltage to low voltage, so that way you are able to now use it to charge your battery. So we're looking at the charging part of an inverter. So when your inverter is bad, at the end of the day, it's not fixable. Most of the time the transformer is still okay, at least most of the ones that I've seen. So what happens is that your transformer, when you feed it with 220 volts, we use 220 volts in my country, at the end of the day it changes it to a voltage that you can use to charge your battery. So that means if you're using a 12 volt battery system, for instance, you're going to be needing anywhere from 15 volts and above. Then of course the transformer has to be powerful enough to also deliver current. So it's not just the volts. You can have 15 volts and be getting 1 amp, which for most batteries is going to be useless. So you're looking for a decent transformer also that should be able to give you good enough amps, anywhere from 5-10 amps. So that's it. Once you feed current into your transformer, the next thing is that you are going to get a low voltage AC. So, and your battery operates as a DC. So that's where you're going to need this bridge rectifier, which you are seeing right there. So you're going to connect it in a way that when the voltage coming from the transformer has been stepped down, you connect it to this bridge rectifier and you connect it to the terminals, which you are seeing right now. And from those terminals, you can now connect it to your battery. Now, if you look at the terminals that are on the transformer, I'm not the technical guy, so if I make any mistake, you guys should correct me. But basically what I do is I just take that black wire, which you see that is connected. I will still explain more about that. And of course, one of the red wires, those ones, when you feed them in, use your multimeter to check the voltage that you are getting from the terminals, AC voltage. So once the voltage is above your battery voltage, well, that's a good starting point. So this red one and the black one, those ones are the ones I'm using, and the voltage was I think just over 20. So, and I wanted to charge a 12 volt battery, which is very okay. So now at the end of the day, the one that is coming out of the transformer, you can see how it's going to a bridge rectifier. Yeah, so that bridge rectifier is what converts it from AC to DC. So very important, because you cannot use AC to charge a DC battery. You have to charge with a DC voltage, and the voltage has to be higher than the battery voltage that you're using. That's when you can charge. So that's how it works. Now, one of the problems I have, which I talked about earlier, is this bridge rectifier was overheated. Either the capacity is too small or something, so it charges after some time. You see that the charging current is going down and it's very hot. So that's why I installed the fan on it. So you can see the fan right there, and you can see I connected the terminals directly to the input. So this way I also connect the input AC voltage. So once you connect it that way, whenever there's power, the fan is spinning throughout, and once the power cuts off, at the end of the day, the fan will stop. So that means whenever the bridge rectifier is working, the fan is blowing the bridge rectifier. But I found out that even with this fan, maybe I didn't position the bridge rectifier, it was still overheating kind of. It's something I would like to try again, and of course I'll let you guys know exactly how it went. The other thing to note is that if you just connect it to your battery directly, at the end of the day, you don't have any way of regulating the charge, regulating the voltage that your battery reaches. That means at the end of the day, you may damage your battery. So to put it in short, if you are feeding 20 volts to your 12 volt battery, for instance, DC, at the end of the day, if you don't have a way of monitoring your battery, because most batteries of 12 volts, they get fully charged at 14.4 volts. So if you don't have a way of checking the voltage so that it will not overcharge, then you risk damaging your battery. There's a cutoff device which yes, you can see it on the screen right here. I didn't have it handy when I was doing this video. So this is a cutoff device. There are a lot of them in the market. What that cutoff device does is that before you feed AC current into transformer, you connect it to one of the terminals of this cutoff device. So what happens is that the cutoff device is the device that when you reach a set voltage, you have to set it manually. Once you reach that voltage, 14.4 in this case, at the end of the day, it will just cut off automatically. That means it will refuse to feed power into the transformer. So that way, your batteries will not overcharge. I just saw this and I said I should use it to let us know that you don't need to throw your inverters away. They can be useful for you. So in the future video, I'm not just going to be talking about it. I'm going to make sure that everything I demonstrated it. I'm going to connect the cutoff device, connect it to a battery, and the multimeters. You're going to see everything, the charging current. So I'm going to make sure that you understand it. In the comment section, you can let me know if I made any mistake in the way of describing the transformer, the electrical part. So all things being equal, to recap and to summarize, what your inverter does is simple. Your inverter feeds in AC current and uses it to charge your batteries. Now when there's no AC power, there's no grid power, your battery, the same transformer for the most part, is used to increase the voltage that's haven't converted it to AC. It is now boosted to 220 that we use at home. So that's just how an inverter works. In this occasion, we are looking at how it charges your battery, because that is one of the only things you can actually do with this transformer as it stands now that is going to be useful in an off-grid situation, or at least when you have an inverter system and the batteries are not getting enough charge. That's one of the things you can do with your inverter. So see you guys and catch you on the next one.